Jai Gurudev, welcome to Connect with the Divine with Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vishwananda. Paramahamsa Vishwananda is an enlightened, God-realized spiritual master. His mission on earth is to open the hearts of mankind, and through his Bhakti Marga organization, he helps spiritual seekers experience and cultivate a very uniquely personal relationship with God. The Sanskrit word bhakti means love and devotion, and Bhakti Marga is the path of living and loving the divine in daily life. One way to do this is through chanting the name of God. This practice is also known as japam. Chanting is a very simple yet powerful practice that has been used for thousands of years. Ancient saints and yogis have called upon the power of chanting to help calm the mind and to attain higher states of consciousness. Many different spiritual traditions use chanting as a way to connect more intimately with the source of life itself. Chanting the Lord's name invokes His divine presence, and chanting with love helps you to realize Him within your own heart. You will notice that Paramahamsa Vishwananda is using a string of 108 prayer beads called a mala. A mala carries the vibrational energy of the divine name and helps to keep track of the repetitions. Paramahamsa Vishwananda will come online in just a few moments, and when he does, he will invite you to chant along with him for approximately 15 minutes. After the chanting is finished, he will lead everyone in a very short guided meditation to support Mother Earth. Once the meditation is finished, please sit quietly for a few moments to enjoy the effects of your japam. When Paramahamsa Vishwananda comes back online, he will give satsang by answering your spiritual questions and revealing timeless truths to help you rise above the challenges and fears of today's world. It is very rare to have such access to a living master, and it is even more special to have the opportunity to learn directly from him. We hope you enjoy your connection with the divine.
Have you ever looked into the eyes of a spiritual master? Come and experience it for yourself. Look into the eyes of real, unconditional love and let it open your heart. Paramahamsa Sri Swami Vishwananda is a God-realized master who lives in constant union with the divine. He lives at a place in the heart of Europe. It is called the home of the Divine Mother. From here, he is now giving what is called darshan online so that everyone can benefit. Darshan means divine sight, but simple words cannot do justice to the incredible experience of seeing and being seen by him. Look into the eyes of unconditional love and let it open your heart. You can now have your own experience of this divine master from wherever you are. Feel it for yourself and let love return.
So we are going to celebrate a very auspicious day tomorrow, the laying of the first stone for the foundation of the Ram temple at the birthplace of Lord Rama. So in that context, the Japam today will chant Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. So please join me and let the blessing of Shri Ram be with all of you. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Guru Namaha. Now we'll do a little meditation. Close your eyes. Focus on your third eye. And let the vibration of the mantra resound all around you. Feel it vibrating everywhere in your body. So visualize a light in between your eyebrows. And dive within that light. Let the mind dive into that light. Bring that light to your right eyes, then to your left eyes. Let it purify your sight. Bring the light to your nose. Let it purify your breathing. Bring the light to your mouth. Let it purify the taste. Bring the light to your ears, the right one first and the left one. Let it purify your hearing. Bring the light to your arm, the right one first and the left one. Let it purify the sense of touch. Bring the light to your legs and feet. Let it purify your path in life. Bring the light to your heart. And let that light, which is the light of the divine inside of you, which is the love which you hold inside of you, be spread to the whole world. May you become a source of light and love. And chant with me. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yeah. Jai Gurudev, everybody. So I hope you're having a good time and that you all are fine. And here it's very hot, the heat waves, and everything is changing very much. But it's all His will anyway. So as I was saying earlier, before the Japam, was saying about this great event which is going to happen tomorrow. And it is really a blessed event, but on the place where Lord Rama was born after so many years, but the temple had been destroyed by invasion. Now, after so many fights also in the court, but finally, that wonderful temple for Lord Rama will be elected, and tomorrow they will be doing the ground-breaking ceremony and laying of the first stone for the temple. And pray that Lord Rama bless all of you. So I will ask Jai Gopal to ask your question.
Dear Guruji, it has become fashionable today to say that I am spiritual but not religious. People also do not want to talk about God but only about energy or consciousness. Is this okay? And what are people missing by doing this?
It's true. Nowadays, it has become a fashion. People are scared to use the word God. In ancient time, you will see in old movies, they will talk about God, And nowadays, they talk about consciousness. They talk about there is awareness. These are all terms to define something, which in reality, people doesn't really understand what they are talking about. You see, when we talk about God, when we use the word God, we have a certain reference to someone. And because we have a physical body, we have a mind, we are more accustomed, to a person. Whereas when we talk about an awareness, okay, we are aware of so many things in our life, And we are aware that yet, when we talk about happiness, we are aware that yet we are not really happy. But yet we put a certain, disguise that we are happy. But yet that awareness is there, that we are not happy. That knowing is there, that we are not happy. So the same thing nowadays has become a trend, that people are so scared, like you were saying earlier, in your question itself, you talk about, people talk about being spiritual, not religious, because they identified very much what religion have done. It's true, religion is the base of where one stand upon. Religion, when we talk about a religious person, we are not talking about the religion itself, we are talking about that person which have a connection with the divine, which make the divine appeared real for that person. That is religious person, a person which is dedicated to its path itself. And firstly, the person is clear about the path which they took. The religious doesn't mean to be in a religion, fundamentally and very narrow-minded. No. You can be religiously doing so many things, which means you are very dedicated into what you are doing. You are dedicated religiously in your path itself. You are dedicated religiously into your searching of who you are. But you see, that term, religious, it means that you are very dedicated, you are very deep into what you want really, and you want to achieve that. But of course, you see, when we talk about it in a general way, people identified it with, if you're religious, you have to belong to a religion. That means very dogmatic and very narrow-minded. So it's nothing to do with that. You can be religious, and another term for religious means also spiritual. So they are not separate from each another. You know? When you have that inner urge, you know, you have this deep longing to go deeper and really discover in the deepness of things why you are here itself. You know? So that is where spirituality comes. You know? It gives you a deeper understanding of where you stand and where you are going towards. So it is not to be ashamed, you know, even if you say you are religious, or you say that you are spiritual. And but very often people have fear, you know, to be how people are looking at you. People think, you know, I must be politically correct, you know, in the eyes of my friend, in the eyes of my parents, in the eyes of my beloved, in the eyes of people around, you know. I have to play the role how it will suit them best. And as long as it suits them best, I am fine with it. So that's why they use these politically correct words, you know, like spirituality and consciousness, you know, because the moment we use the word God, people start to look at you in a very strange way. Because nowadays, people don't want to hear the word God. You know, you see very clearly in this world what is happening. But you see, the divine have different aspect. God have taken different forms, different names, you know. But these names and forms have a certain power into it. And when you take the name, they react upon your brain itself. And when it reacts upon the brain, it alters something change into your mindset itself. Whereas when you just use awareness, it has many meaning to it. You be aware of things, what you are doing. It is very low frequency. Because also generally people use that word in their daily life. When you are aware of things which is going around you, But it doesn't hold a certain power into it. That's why, you see, people which is on the spiritual path, they should not weaken themselves, you see, because your power comes from who you are, and how you are. And you should not be ashamed of using these words, because these are the words which hold a certain energy inside. Here I'm using again the word energy. So it is the power, the energy of the words itself, what you use, that can transform and change everything. So, but firstly we have to have that firm belief and firm faith into what we are doing, So, and also in your path itself. Because if you are not clear about your path, of course, then it will matter how people are thinking about you and how they view you. But if you are strong and dedicated to your path, then it doesn't matter what word you use. You may use also in some times, you see, the word awareness, consciousness, energy, to refer to the same things. But inside of you, you do know you're referring to that Supreme Personality itself. You're referring to that divine consciousness, which is God itself. So whether you use the word God or not, from your perspective, you have to be clear about it. And knowing that it is only Him which is the source of everything. And that what we are all trying to achieve, and He is the aim. So that's what Bhagavan always say, remind, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, He's a reminder of our true self itself, But we have to be in communion with that self firstly, We have to be in a relationship, we have to get to know that self. So.
Guruji, my partner is Jewish. We both accept that there is ultimately the same God behind both of our faiths. However, how could God give the commandment to Moses to forbid the worship of images, and then, on the other hand, tell different people that He is pleased by whomever offers even a leaf or a flower to the murti? Could you please shine some light on this?
You see, in the teaching that Bhagavan have given, to different prophets, saints, and then finally He Himself spoke, Actually, when we go into the teaching, we have to also to understand, to which kind of people He is talking to. And according to these people, He will give a certain knowledge in a certain way. For example, what you are saying right now about that part which He said to Moses, you should not have any image, you should not worship any image. But He never said that you should not have an image of Him. He said that you should not have an image of lesser deities or lesser being. The same thing Krishna have said in the Gita. Those who worship me, come to me. Those who worship the devas, go to the abode of the devas. Those who worship the lesser god, they will go to the lesser gods. To the entities which they're worshipping. So when He's saying that, He's focusing upon this. He's making clear that He is the center point where your mind must focus upon. And if your mind is not focused upon that, then the mind will be diverted in so many ways. So here, when we are talking about single-pointed minded devotion, that's what He's asking. That's what He's asking everybody, whether you are come from this, from what it is said to Moses, that you should not worship an image. But yet, He never said that you should not worship Him. You should not have an image of Him. But the point is that nobody have ever seen Him to make an image of Him in that religion. So that's why, Bhagavan Krishna said in chapter 7, verse 10, and He said, I am the seeds of all being. I am the intelligence in the intelligent. I am the splendor in the splendid. When we analyze that, we see that I am the seeds in all being, which means that I am the one which is the center point of everything. And first, I am that intelligent in the intelligent. Intelligence in the intelligent, which means that an intelligent person, somebody which is intelligent, realize that eternity of the Atma itself. That focus must be upon the self. The self is the manifestation that make one perceive everything. Without having that knowledge, you will not be even here. So the center point where Bhagavan is saying right now is about focusing upon something which is eternal. And who is that eternal being which is the seed of all? It is the Supreme Lord Himself. So once you have had that understanding of who God is, and how He have manifest everything, and you have had that experience itself, because thoughts and action, cause and effect happen into that context of things. That's why He said that whatever you offer to me, know that I am that eternal self which is in everything. There's nothing that pervade which I am not into. So like that you see deeply where Bhagavan is saying similar things. It's how you understand it. Yeah. When we talk about, in one state he said, yes, you should not worship a certain form, but yet in another religion he said, yes, worship me. He never said that you should not worship me. So, and knowing that He is the essence in everything, you can worship Him everywhere, in everything. So you understand that when you look at teaching, Bhagavan, the same Lord have taught same thing, but just the understanding of it vary from everywhere. Everybody understanding the way they want. One will understanding in a very narrow way, because they said, yes, this is a commandment and this is it. But whereas, when we look at it from the Gita point of view, it gives a different awareness and deepness of it. The same thing Bhagavan have said, yes. He have not said that you should worship the form outside, but He said you should worship me, the eternal essence which prevailed over everything. That's what He meant also. So this is just one thing, Like that you will see in both scriptures there is such richness. But firstly, you have to put that narrow-minded mind away to be able to grasp the real understanding. Because you see, when we talk about God, of course we personified Him the way we want Him to be. And we put most of the time, we put our own limitation upon Him. We want a God which suits us. And as long as it suits us, we are in good communion with Him. But the moment it doesn't suit us, then there's problematic. But is it really God Himself in that way? No, it is not. It is our own mind understanding of things that we project upon something which is someone which is unlimited. Our limited mind is projecting upon something which is unlimited. So how can a mind which is limited understand the unlimited one? It's very difficult. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 19, Bhagavan Krishna said, I am the heat of the sun, with fault I bring rain, I am the immortality, and I am the personification of death. I am the thought and I am the object. When we analyze that, you will see a contrast and contradiction into both of them. Here you see he's talking about the sun. When we analyze that deeply, we see that the sun has climatic understanding. The sun have a very great impact upon nature itself. When we understand, we just say we look at it from an outside point of view. Why is he talking about the sun? Why is he talking about the rain? No, but it is a very deep theological understanding, because it is the sun that regulates also the atmosphere. Like right now, the sun is predominated. You see all the trees are longing for water. So when one withdraws the sun effect, so it cover, then rain come, which means that imagine the power of the sun itself. Then he said that I am immortality and I'm the personification of death. So from the understanding of the consciousness is eternal. But death is for things which is manifested, matter. So one which is eternal, one which realizes that eternity, the atmic level, one is free. But one which is holding upon something which is limited, our narrow-mindedness, our way of thinking in a very square way, that will bring death. That's why you see the paradox of both into that. And he said that I am the thoughts and the object. I am the thoughts because I'm subtle. And through that subtleness, the object manifests itself. So one you perceive and one you don't perceive. So like that you see the duality of things which coexist. But the divine is beyond this duality itself. Only when you transcend these two that you can really find that divinity. So here Bhagavan said that I'm not limited. And it's so beautifully said that what do you want? You want a God which is limited? You have fashioned it, or you have built it, or you want a God which is sublime, which is omnipresent, omniscient, which is in everything. So this is a different realization. So like that, you see, you will find in scripture when you go deeper in your understanding about the scriptural knowledge, but there's not really much different. The different come upon words only. And through that you will see in religion, people have fight, kill each another, just because of words. One say, my God is better, because they use another name for God. And the other one says, no, my God is better. And they fight with each other. But they are not realizing that they are talking about the one supreme God himself. There's only one. They are fighting for words only. And that is the problem. People look at words and compare words only. Then they're stuck to that words and they become so fanatic about that words because it is written. And you see that in the world nowadays, what that have done. All the wars, all the way the people think, people think of, if I deepen my understanding that I'm more superior than somebody else, then they don't have any understanding of their own scriptures. Because all the scriptures come from the divine, and the divine have a more broader way of perceiving things, It's not in a very narrow-minded way. So when you go deeper, you must transform into that divine aspect. Then your view of how you perceive and how you understand, that also will change. If you're sitting in the mode of narrow-mindedness, of course, then any scripture you take, you will find the narrow-mindedness into it. But if you are absorbed into the divine teaching, really, and transforming, let that divinity which is inside of you awake, that divine consciousness awake, you will perceive that the same Lord, even if what you are reading is in a very narrow-minded way, you would see that there is a different angle of seeing it. And this is a divine angle. And when you look at it from that point of view, from the point of view of your divinity within you, you will perceive that there is a different context in itself. But what Bhagavan have said, what God have said in all the scriptures, whether it is from the Jewish, from Hindu, from Christianity, from whatever, it's always centered one mind upon the divine himself. And there's not thousands of God. There's only one supreme reality. There's only one supreme Lord himself. We call him in many names, but he is not touched by anything as human is touched by that. He's not conditioned by how human mind is conditioned. So we want to be like human throughout ages, keep fighting, keep sit in the narrow-mindedness. No, you want to awake. Like he said, we are part of him, and we have that eternal relationship with him. And he come in many ways to remind humanity of his relationship with him. The same thing when he come and spoke to Moses. Why do you think he have to come and speak to Moses? He come and remind Moses that you have to guide my people back to me. Again, he is reminding of his relationship that we have with him. We have this eternal relationship because we come from him. And he come in many ways of reminding that relationship with him. And Bhagavan Krishna, of course, have given the Gita. And through the prophet, through the saints from many religions, he have reminded only of that relationship, nothing else. Because we humans often let the mind run into the world, and we forget about that relationship with him. So for that you have to put many ways, because many people understand, we have from different culture, we have a different ways of approaching the divine itself. There's a different ways of showing our reverence and our relationship to him. So you see it also when people are in love, not everybody expresses their love the same way. Some people express it in a very cuddly way, and some people don't like to be cuddled. But it is an expression of love itself. So like that, in different culture, different places, we express our relationship to God in a different way. Just what we have to remove our narrow-mindedness and start to see it from a divine point of view. Jai Gurudev.
Paramahamsa Vishwananda recommends we keep chanting the name of God every day. Just 15 minutes a day will help you to create an oasis of positivity and divinity in your life. We invite you to submit questions and learn more about Paramahamsa Vishwananda and his Bhakti Marga mission by visiting paramahamsavishwananda.com. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us again for another live Connect with the Divine session every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock Germany time.